Alright, I'm back at it, working at the 45 horsepower 4 Mercury. I'm just, basically I've got the carbs cleaned. I cleaned the distributor. That pops off pretty easy, as I showed in the other video. Nice system, it works well. But now I'm on to the lower unit. Okay, because, I suspect it's going to run. I don't know yet, but I pulled it over and it's fired a little bit, but I never actually had it up and running. But it's 1960, so I guess the next step would be to do the water pump on it if I'm going to use it. So I'm going to try to use it. So okay, so I've popped off the lower unit, and there's only three main bolts that hold it on, and one main bolt and two nuts on each side, one here and one on the other side, exactly the same place, and one Allen key bolt here. So that's four, I guess. But anyways, so I've got it apart here and got the leg off, and I inspected it over, and when I first looked at it, I was like, okay, where's the water pump? Like, where is it? I don't see it. It's not like the Evinrude, it has a big housing on it, but this has got a built-in water pump, kind of sunk in, flat, flush with the whole lower unit gear case housing. As you can see here, how flat it is. So basically, it's this. This is the cap of the water pump housing. So, which is different, and by the looks of it, it has 4 holes. So I was like, oh, looks like I need a special tool to pop that out. So basically, I used a punch, and I did hit it on each side, on not too hard, but enough to jar it, sprayed it up and all that type of jazz. So counterclockwise it comes out. But then I was thinking, you know what? This angle grinder tool that tightens the wheel, well, that looks like the same size, and sure enough it is. So that's what I used right there, and that's what I'm going to use to tighten it when I put it back together. So that comes off. Then you'll have a plate underneath, which is this one. And this one, see, you can see where the old water pump was running on it. It's quite grooved out. And the old water pump didn't look bad, but the only problem is it doesn't have any spring left to the fingers, Very little, so she's pretty well pooched. So for a matter of $23.49 Canadian, I got a new water pump. Save the whole engine if it does run. Yeah, so this is the gear shifter part that fits up underneath. It engages. It's kind of like clutch dogs, or it just basically turns and give pressure to when you're shifting to forward and reverse. I don't know exactly what those are called, but they have to go back in, obviously. So now you can see how this plate is grooved up on one side pretty good. So I would probably use the other side, because it's it's flippable, right? It's exactly the same thing on each side. So just flip it over. So that the rough part will stay on the top, and the bottom part will be hitting the nice brand new water pump. So also inspect inside your water pump housing. Make sure that there's nothing rough. Now, if you can see on this one, this looks pretty iffy. See this big groove, and it's kind of real rough. So basically, there is a seal in the water pump housing cap, and that's important. But anyway, so it's fairly simple to take apart. Like I said, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts and three nuts and one Allen key, fairly big. And this is your water pump key for inside there. It'll fit like that against the propeller shaft, or drive shaft, I mean. So that's it. So really simple to take apart. This is the key here. If you don't have one of these tools, it's just basic angle grinder, wheel tightener, and that'll do it. And flush out everything, flush out the whole system, and put her back together. Oh, and for the lower unit grease, it does not take oil in this lower unit. It takes lube plate 105, because that's they had this old type of grease that Mercury made. I think it's called Quicksilver. It was blue, but they run grease in their lower units. So yeah, so fill it up, get one of these and just fill her up. So I hope this helps somebody out, out there that's working on an old Merc. It's a little bit of research to find out what you're going to use in the lower unit and all that, but my video is going to die here, so simple setup. Also, when you put it back together, make sure to grease up your splines on the end, and not at the top so much, just on the edges. Other than that, I don't know what else to tell you. Check out my website, and stay tuned for the startup and see if this thing's going to pump water. I blew a hole in my old Rubbermaid garbage can that I use for testing lower or outboards in, and now I got to fix that goddamn thing. Right on, folks. Take care. Bye.